Hello, you amazing friends. I just want to reach out to you and wish you a happy, beautiful Monday. For us in Sydney, it's actually a public holiday, believe it or not. I don't know what the public holiday is, but I know it's a public holiday. But chances are for you around the world, it's definitely not a public holiday. So just let's say a quick hello. I just felt like jumping on and just doing a quick 15-minute, maybe a little bit more live stream of you winners to talk to you about my 7 favorite types of LinkedIn content. I know a lot of you come back to me asking me a lot of content questions saying, Ed, this is what I'm trying to do on LinkedIn. What sort of content should I post? Well, here I am to help you answer that question. Now, first things first, if you just come in, smash that like, share, and comment, say hello. And be it you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, even Twitter or YouTube, please connect with me on the platforms, especially LinkedIn. And I got to say, I love your work. So, my friends, here we are together to chat about my 7 favorite types of content. If you just come in, smash that like, share, and comment, and just don't forget about how awesome and amazing you are, because you are very much so. Now, number one, my legendary friends, one of my favorite forms of content are LinkedIn polls. LinkedIn polls are a really, really good form of content, and I do them all the time, and I'll explain to you how I use LinkedIn polls. LinkedIn polls are really, really good for sort of those one-on-one questions if you follow my logic. So this is what I find with LinkedIn polls. It's good to ask questions that aren't inflammatory or crazy, but questions that are relevant to what you're doing, right? So, for example, I'll ask a lot of business questions. I'll ask a lot of, LinkedIn type of questions. And the thing that I like is it's really good with a yes or no. Okay, so if you give it that yes or no, it works really well. So, give an example. I see a lot of polls where people ask a difficult question with 4 different options. And you know what I find, my legendary friends? It's just too much. It's just way too much, and it can just go over your head, and it just doesn't feel good, which is an absolute pleasure. And oh my God, we got our first comment for the day. We have got Ken Dunner with us. Ken Dunner, big welcome. And he goes, Edward's here. You are such a suave, debonair, sophisticated gentleman, and a stellar scholar, well articulate, eloquently stated, heartfelt, distinguished. Is this ChatGPT? Dapper human being who's also intelligent, gorgeously handsome, looking impeccably well dressed too. Well, thank you. I'm wearing my Lacoste top today. Great. I got to say, well, so good to hear from you. Ken Dunn, it's an amazing guy. Just come in, smash that like, share, and comment as well. So polls are one of my favorite forms of content for the simple reason that polls are just fantastic. They get huge amounts of engagement. Again, the way to do them is by asking a simple yes or no. But again, keep it relevant to your business. Sometimes I used to ask weird stuff just for attention. Not a good move. A good yes or no is the way to go. The second one I really love, my legendary friends, are photos and photo galleries. Now, this can do really, really well on LinkedIn. So a photo is when you just upload one photo, and a photo gallery is when you can upload multiple photos. And the way it works on LinkedIn is whether you upload, based on how many photos you upload, it'll then display it automatically. A little bit painful, so you sort of got to play with it. So when you're doing a photo gallery, here's the thing that I see people doing as a mistake all the time. They upload 2 photos. If you upload 2 landscape photos, it puts them side by side and cuts off most of the photos. So when you're doing a photo gallery, make sure it looks good. But the point I want to make to you is photo and photo galleries are awesome. So, for example, let's say I'm running an event, or I catch up with a client or one of my friends, and I want to give them a shout out. The way I'll give them a shout out is by simply, saying, "Hey, connect with my friend Abhijit." I was just talking to Abhijit before, and Abhijit's probably watching. Love your work, Abhijit. Another way, my very, very beautiful and legendary friends, you can also do it as well, is you might, for example, go to a networking event or run your own event, or you might do something more social, and you just have a really, really, really good experience where there's heaps and heaps and heaps of different people on there. And we've got my friend Abhijit with us, and Abhijit just said to me, Edward, can I join you live? And here's one of the big things that I love about LinkedIn Live, and I'm just going to do a little bit of intermission here. I'm going to show you my phone, actually. I'll turn down the audio. The beauty about doing LinkedIn Lives, and I'm going to talk about it, is it shows you the link in real time. So as you can see me, right now I'm LinkedIn Living, and I'm actually holding up my phone. Shirley Copper, great seeing you. So what I'm going to do now, this is the beauty that I love about LinkedIn Lives. Quick intermission there. Again, when you do a LinkedIn Live like this, it's appearing in my feed, probably about a 10-second delay from when you're seeing it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a link of my LinkedIn Live to legendary Abhijit, who totally rocks. And that's one of the big things as well. LinkedIn Lives are very good. I'll just come back to it. But I just saw Abhijit message me out of the corner of my eye saying, Edward, where is your LinkedIn Live? So I've just shared it with him. So when Abhijit comes on, he's a fine guy. Shirley, love your work. And that's a big thing. So, my friends, this is very important as well. Something that's very, very amazing. Photos and photo galleries are totally awesome. Just come in, smash that like, share, and comment, and please say hello. Now, this one's a bit more interesting, actually. And this is one of the big things that, in terms of some of my favorite forms of content, is business content. Now, obviously, LinkedIn is more of a business environment. Now, please do a mixture of business and social. One thing I say to people on LinkedIn is don't just do business only because you'll become very boring. But of course, business content is the obvious backbone of LinkedIn. I give you some examples of some great forms of business content you can do. This LinkedIn Live, for example, where, like in this case, I'm going through a PowerPoint, I'm doing a deep dive, or you might interview someone or something like that. So there's heaps of different forms of it. The other way of doing it as well is simple videos. So I do this quite a bit. Sometimes if you want to like give a simple business tip, take a little video with your mobile phone. It might go for 1 or 2 minutes, and that might be a little tip. Another one is that you might LinkedIn Live interview someone. You might not have done this before. You might actually record an interview with your mobile phone of someone and actually interview them face to face. There's heaps of different moves you can make to really, really, really stand out in that regard. So again, this is where you give tips from a business viewpoint. So if you're a lawyer, give general legal tips and insight, general, of course. If you teach LinkedIn, give LinkedIn tips. If you're a sales coach, give LinkedIn tips. If you're an IT person, give LinkedIn tips. Let's say you're more career driven and you want to give a general, and you're after building your personal brand so you get promoted. You might just share general motivational ideas or whatever it is, but you get my drift. So it works really, really well. And business content, you can do things like you can have photo with a bit of text. I think videos are very effective. No, I think they are. And also too, LinkedIn Lives are fantastic. Now, interestingly, LinkedIn Lives are getting a lot of views these days. So they're really getting algorithmically rewarded, which is fantastic. Now, here's the big thing that, and this is often always a big discussion point when you say social content on LinkedIn. Shirley Copper, love your work. Shirley Copper on Facebook, you're amazing. Friends, if you just come in, please smash that like, share, and comment. Say hello. So I'm not just a madman talking to my PC. And if you're watching the recording in the future, which you might be, just please connect with me anytime. And this is the big thing, classy social content. Now you're going to ask me, Ed, what is classy social content? Now I use the word classy a lot with LinkedIn as a general premise, right? So the best way of using LinkedIn is treat LinkedIn as a 5-star hotel. So what you do in a 5-star hotel is sort of what cuts it on LinkedIn. And that's, to me, the key thing about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, out of all the social media platforms, it is the most classiest platform. So you need to be aware of that. You need to only post classy content. Now, most of my content is pretty classy. Whenever I make a mistake, which is every now and then, sometimes I miss it, but you get my drift. Keep the content super classy. Very, very, very important. And it can be social content. Like, for example, we're actually heading off today to, not that I'm an oyster fan, I'll just be taking photos of them. We're actually having oysters together as a family today at the beautiful Central Coast, a place called Mooney Mooney. And I actually don't like oysters, but I'll be taking photos of oysters for the sake of social media because, again, it's a public holiday here. And we've been working some long hours like this. So we're going to take advantage of our day off because from here onwards, well, it's been pretty crazy. I had to work yesterday as well. So classy social content is very, very good. Okay, is it classy? Does it show what you're up to, which is very, very fantastic. You might, for example, have a 5-star classy meal, and you might put some photos up about it. There you go. LinkedIn Lives. Here we are doing a LinkedIn Live. Now, LinkedIn Lives have been fascinating. This new format, LinkedIn Live, you're watching, I found actually very interesting. And I'll tell you some stats. I actually only started this, I've been LinkedIn Lives for a while, but this new format of LinkedIn Lives only started last week. And I've been so happy with the way that it's gone. It's been very, very, very high quality. And I've been getting like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views per LinkedIn Live. And here's what I find that's absolutely fascinating about these LinkedIn Lives. This is one of the good things is when I do the LinkedIn Live, I might get like 500, 600 views. But the thing that's fascinating is the majority of the views. So I'll give an example. I was just going through some data of some LinkedIn Lives I did last week. One got like 3,500 views, right? Now, the bit that was interesting was that I remember doing it. Once I finished the live, I had about 500 views. But then what I did was, it went from 500 to 3,500, afterwards. So what I've actually found that's quite ironic is that with LinkedIn Lives, and thank you for tuning in live, by the way, the actual majority of the views you get is actually after the live. So I would say, 20% of the views would be the live at the start, plus the rest of the views is what you get afterwards. And we've got Chester Swanson. Chester, good evening from Texas and welcome. If you just tuned in, please smash that like, share, comment, say hello. And please connect with me on LinkedIn. You can connect me on Facebook, but I'm more of a LinkedIn guy. But what I love about StreamYard, and this is a good point, I use StreamYard, which is fantastic. You just go to StreamYard.com, and the way a LinkedIn Live works is You go to StreamYard.com. It's free, by the way, but I'll come back to that. And you connect it with your LinkedIn account, and then you can just stream for free. However, if you do use a premium StreamYard content account, you can also stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now, interestingly, again, I'm a LinkedIn accredited guy, and we focus on LinkedIn. Lassie and I connect with Lassie too. But here's the funny thing is, again, I'm not here to talk about Facebook, but I get over 150,000 views a month on Facebook. I actually get a lot of leads and customers from Facebook for LinkedIn, because there's a lot of people, of course, on Facebook who may not necessarily be happy with their Facebook experience, or they just want to jump into the LinkedIn universe. And so I find a lot of them on Facebook. Now, the beauty with that whole experience and the whole Facebook experience is that LinkedIn Lives, I'm using StreamYard. It also streams to Facebook. I'm also streaming it to Twitter and YouTube. So I actually get like a few hundred views from Facebook, and I get a few thousand views from LinkedIn. So it's really happy. We've got Andreas Mamar with us. Andreas, welcome. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, which is a pleasure. Just come in, smash that like, sharing, comment, and make sure you connect with Lassie as well, which is really important. Now, here's the other one. Be yourself in a classy way. Now, one of the biggest things that whenever I talk about LinkedIn, I'll always say classy, 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 because you need to be classy on LinkedIn. So it's very important that you take a classy approach on LinkedIn, because the classier you are is the more effective and powerful you're going to be, and it's going to better represent your brand. Now, what I say to you amazing people is be classy and be yourself. So be the classy version of yourself. We all have different moods and different mindsets. So take who you are and be the classy side of your LinkedIn. That's what I try and do, right? We all go through different moods. I'm not always necessarily the most classy guy, but the side I love to express myself on LinkedIn is the classy side of it, which is all very, very important. Now, friends, what do you think? If you've got any questions, type them in the chat. I want to hear it. We've got a few minutes left. I like keeping my LinkedIn lives 15 to 20 minutes. So we've got about 3 minutes left till we hit 15. So, the other key point as well, LinkedIn lives, 15 minutes is the minimum. So what Microsoft says is maximum of 1 live a day plus a minimum of 15 minutes. I go for 15 minutes at least, and then usually 15, 20 minutes. But if I have questions, that might pull it onwards. Being yourself is so very, very important, okay? So be yourself, be who you are, right? But of course, be in a classy way. Now, I've got several points here in one slide. Obviously, I just try to cram them all on one slide towards the end. So question number 1 is, would you watch your own content? Very important. Because I've asked a lot of people this question when I've been coaching with them and helping them. And you know what they turn around and say? I wouldn't watch my own content. If you wouldn't watch your own content, you've got a problem, my friends. You gotta love your own content. So for example, would I watch my own content? Sometimes I have, actually, not as an active narcissist or anything, but I just felt like watching my own content, and I really, really loved it and got into it, which is very important. Shirley Copper, I thank you. We've got Shirley Copper from Facebook. Shirley, love you. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn as well if you're over there. But Shirley's one of my friends on Facebook. Amazing lady. So Shirley Copper, we appreciate you. But that's a powerful question. Would you watch your own content? Because I know a lot of people who wouldn't. And I ask them all the time. So here's the point. If you would watch your own content, bravo. If you wouldn't watch your own content, I invite you to really rethink how you're doing it, and can you do it in a more creative way? Now, you might get some ideas from me. They're all yours. Please steal and copy my ideas all you want. What you might also do is you might also look at not necessarily people just in your own industry, but you might look at other influencers that you like to get some ideas. So, for example, Joy McAdams. Joy McAdams is a very famous LinkedIn influencer. I think she's pretty much LinkedIn only, bit of Instagram, but mostly she's a LinkedIn lady. So hello to, not that Joy McAdams will watch this, but she's a busy lady. But if you know Joy McAdams, connect with her. Well, you probably can't connect with her. She's full, but you can follow her. I was very lucky to connect with Joy McAdams just before she took off. She got hundreds of thousands of followers. I've been quite inspired by Joy McAdams. Joy McAdams does a lot of social, friendly, and business sort of content that just sticks beautifully, which is fantastic. And yeah, Shirley Copper makes a good point. It's good to watch your own content as if you need to fix something, you can. Exactly. Now, the final point, if you've got any questions or thoughts, type them in the chat and smash that like, sharing, comment. Thank you for watching. Again, it is a public holiday in Sydney today, but I felt like doing live anyway. I just like doing lives on Monday. Good day to do a live. The other key thing I want to say to you, legendary winners, is the data. Now, data is really, really good on LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, when you see a post, it usually says a number of impressions. If you click that, be it on phone or PC, you can then go through all the data, and it can tell you things like how many views, if it's a video, how many plays, or lives, how many people watched it. The other thing that it also gives you is where are people from? And that's a bit I love. Where are they calling in? Calling in, haha. I'm such an old guy, I know. But where are people from? What are their roles and what do they do? So it all just works. So friends, here are some of my points that are really helping. And for those that have just come in, I'm just going to do a very quick recap. In this live, I went through my favorite 7 aspects of LinkedIn content. Polls are fantastic. I love photos and photo galleries, business content and tips, be it videos, photos, text, and more. Keep your content classy. It's all very important. LinkedIn Lives are fantastic. And I know you believe me because you are watching this LinkedIn Live, be it recording or not. Be yourself, but be the classy side of yourself. And of course, as well, watch your own content and data. That's the key thing. So friends, I hope these thoughts help. And again, we're at 15 minutes. And again, the guidelines for a live is maximum 1 a day and minimum of 15 minutes. I like to go for 15 or 20 minutes with lives. I think if you go on too long, it can get a bit crazy. Friends, what do you think? Feel free to like, share, and comment. By the way, if you're interested in any of our workshops or programs, just send me a message on LinkedIn. And also too, as well, we've got our International Networking Zoom tonight, Monday, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I live in Sydney for those. Thank you, friends. Please connect with Lassie as well. I just want to say I appreciate you winners. Max love to you. Stay awesome. And I'll talk to you later and just keep up the winning on every level, friends. You're very, very